1. Rendezvous in the northern wastes. Frost painted his beard whiter than it already was, but the cold weather was the least of the general's concerns. As he peered back at the 4 dark warships, the groans of the ice pressing against their wooden hulls echoed throughout the aptly named northern wastes. Risking the life and limb of every soldier under his command, he had ordered the small fleet to the top of the world. If the hulls could not hold the ice back, then the general and his men would perish in this desolate realm. This had better be worth our damned time, he thought, not for the first time. The past several years had been lean ones for he and his followers, with one aborted campaign after another. If it was not the Dragon Man hunting them down, then it was the other servants of the Master Guardians. Through the efforts of both, the great and glorious Adamite Empire had been over a generation reduced to a handful of desperate holdings scattered around the continent, far east of the Dragonrealm and a number of small islands. Worse, many of those wearing the black armor marking them as the favored of the Ravager were no better than true pirates, sometimes preying on their own. But we stay true to you, my Lord Ravager, the general added, calling upon the Adamite's savage lupine god. There had been a time when doing so would have meant something for the Wolf Raiders, as they were better known to many of their enemies, had been the worshippers of a very active, very real entity. Yet, for far too long since the triumphant return of the Empire's most hated enemy, the Aramites had been a people bereft of their god, with no one left alive who could answer why. He said we should wait here in this damned excuse for a harbor, Captain Namon Defod muttered next to him. Where the general was a bear of a man, Defod was fittingly more canine in appearance, with a long, narrow nose and dark brown eyes ever searching the vicinity from under a thick black brow. Defod sniffed the air. It's long past time for him to show. We should leave, sir. He'll be here, Captain. If he's the man he says he is, he'll be here. The veteran commander tried to peer through the swirling snow ahead. Visibility was nearly zero at this point, but the general had over his lengthy career developed something of an extra sense. He had no skill at magic, and certainly not the blood magic to which the Keepers, the Empire's sorcerers, had turned when inexplicably cut off from the Ravager's glorious power, but still felt certain that something was taking place just beyond his view. We'll wait overnight, the general declared. If nothing happens by tomorrow, we'll set sail again. Yes, sir. Defard stepped away to give orders. The general's decision meant certain protocols were now in place. Defard had acted as the commander's right hand for several years after eliminating his predecessor, a not uncommon practice among the more ambitious officers of the Empire. He had served the general well and had only tried to assassinate him twice. The second time had cost Defard the 2 smallest fingers on his left hand, a sign of his superior's high regard for him, since the other choice at the time of the failed attempt would have been cutting a crimson river across the captain's throat. Tents quickly sprouted up under Defard's direction. Other men began building a wall of snow and ice against the wind. By the time they were done, a base of operations as hospitable as anyone could make possible would be in place. With his landing party hard at work, the bearded commander started toward the blinding snow. As he did, his gauntleted hand fell to the hilt of his own weapon. Under normal circumstances, he would have been accompanied by a contingent of 4 guards, but the general had long ago dispensed with any protection other than what he carried. In these treacherous times, guards were just as much a potential danger as they were a defense. The last straw in that regard had been when he had been forced to execute the 2 supposedly loyal sentries who had assisted Defard in his last betrayal.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.